Doctors tell you that walking is the best exercise for seniors. Walk 30 minutes a day and you'll stay healthy and strong for years to come. It's what health magazines repeat. It's also what your friends swear by. But here's the uncomfortable truth that most people over 60 don't know. Walking alone will not stop your legs from getting weaker. In fact, research from the Journal of Applied Physiology shows that adults over 60 lose up to 8% of their muscle mass every single decade, even if they walk regularly. That's 8% every 10 years, and after age 70, that loss speeds up to 15% per decade. Walking keeps your heart healthy. It keeps your joints moving, but it does almost nothing to stop the muscle loss that makes you fragile, unsteady, and dependent on others. And that's the hidden problem nobody talks about. The exercises most seniors rely on are all good for staying active, but they don't build the kind of strength that keeps you independent in your older years. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your legs are getting weaker, even if you're active, and the one exercise that can reverse that decline at any age. This isn't about running marathons or lifting heavy weights at the gym. This is about one simple movement that rebuilds the exact muscles you lose fastest after 60. The muscles that determine whether you stay independent or become dependent, whether you feel confident or fearful, whether you thrive or just survive. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do, how to do it safely, and why it works better than anything else for protecting your strength and independence as you age. Before we go further, let us know in the comments below how old you are and where you're watching from. Alright, let's dive in. Let's start by understanding what's actually happening to your legs right now. After age 60, your body goes through a process called sarcopenia. That's the medical term for age-related muscle loss, and it doesn't happen evenly across your whole body. The muscles that weaken fastest are the ones in your legs, specifically your thigh muscles, your hip muscles, and your glutes. Why those muscles? Because they're the muscles that give you power. They help you stand up quickly. They catch you when you stumble. They let you climb stairs without holding the railing. And unfortunately, these are the exact ones that shrink and disappear as you get older. A study published in the journal Age and Aging followed over 1,200 adults between the ages of 60 and 90. The researchers measured their leg strength every year for 8 years. What they found was alarming. Even among people who stayed active, people who walked daily, did light yoga, or played golf, leg strength declined steadily year after year. The people who only did light activities lost strength 3 times faster than people who did exercises that actually challenged their muscles 3 times faster. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between staying independent at 85 and needing help with basic tasks. It's the difference between living in your own home and moving into assisted living because you can't get up from the toilet safely anymore. Now, you might be thinking, but I feel fine. I can still walk. I can still move around. And that's exactly the trap. Because muscle loss is silent. You don't feel it happening day by day. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly realize your legs are weak. It happens gradually over months and years. And by the time you notice, by the time you struggle to get out of a low chair or feel unsteady on your feet or can't lift your groceries, you've already lost a significant amount of strength. And here's the part that really matters. Once that strength is gone, it's much harder to get it back. Not impossible, but harder. Your body becomes less responsive to exercise as you age. Your muscles don't rebuild as quickly. Your nerves don't fire as efficiently. That's why prevention is so much more powerful than trying to recover strength you've already lost. So, if you're in your 60s right now and your legs still feel strong, this is your window. This is your chance to protect what you have and even build more strength while your body is still responsive. And if you're in your 70s or 80s and you've already noticed weakness, it's not too late, but it's urgent. Every week you wait, you lose a little bit more. Walking doesn't challenge your muscles enough to make them grow. And if your muscles aren't being challenged, they're shrinking. Think about how you walk. Your feet move forward one step at a time. Your legs swing gently. Your heart rate might go up a little, especially if you walk briskly. But your muscles? They're not working very hard. Walking uses less than 40% of your maximum leg strength. That means 60% of your muscle capacity is just sitting there, unused, getting weaker every single week. Now let's talk about what weak legs actually mean for your daily life. There's a moment that many seniors experience, usually when they're alone. It's a moment of fear. Maybe you're sitting on the couch and you try to stand up and your legs feel shaky. Or you're walking to the bathroom at night and you stumble slightly and grab the wall. Or you're carrying a bag of groceries and your legs suddenly feel heavy and tired. And here's where the real damage begins. Because when you start to doubt your strength, you start to limit your life. You ask for help with things you used to do yourself. And every time you avoid an activity, your muscles get a little weaker, which makes you more afraid, which makes you avoid even more. It's a downward spiral that steals your independence piece by piece. Falls are a perfect example. Every year, 1 out of every 4 adults, over 65, falls. That's 25%, and majority of falls happen because your legs aren't strong enough to catch you when you lose your balance. And when seniors fall, the consequences are serious. Hip fractures, broken wrists, head injuries. Even if the injury itself isn't severe, the fear that follows can be crippling. But it doesn't have to be this way. Because strong legs break that cycle. Strong legs keep you steady. They give you confidence. They let you live your life without fear. And that's what this is really about. Not just strength, but freedom. If you're finding this information helpful, please take a second to hit the like button. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable, which helps more seniors like you discover it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, click that subscribe button now, so you won't miss out when we release new videos on health, strength and independence for people over 60. Alright, now let's talk about the exercise you've been waiting for. The one exercise that can reverse leg weakness and protect your independence is called the sit to stand. Yes, it's that simple. Sitting down in a chair and standing back up. That's it. But before you think this sounds too easy or too obvious, let me explain why this movement is so incredibly powerful and why most seniors aren't doing it correctly or often enough to get the full benefit. The sit-to-stand exercise is what researchers call a compound movement. That means it uses multiple muscle groups at the same time. When you stand up from a chair, you're using your quadriceps, the big muscles on the front of your thighs. You're using your glutes, your hip muscles. You're using your hamstrings, the muscles on the back of your thighs. You're using your core muscles to keep your back stable. And you're using your calves to push through your feet. All of those muscles are working together, just like they do in real life. That's why this exercise is so functional. It doesn't isolate one muscle. It trains your whole lower body to work as a coordinated unit. Now, here's what makes the sit-to-stand so effective, specifically for seniors. Research from the University of Alabama studied over 1,500 adults over the age of 60. They measured their leg strength using various tests, but the single best predictor of independence and longevity was the ability to stand up from a chair without using your hands. People who could stand up easily, without pushing off their thighs or grabbing the armrests, had a 40% lower risk of needing assistance with daily activities over the next 5 years. They were 50% less likely to fall, and they lived an average of 3 years longer than people who struggled with this movement. 3 extra years of life, not from running marathons, not from expensive treatments, just from maintaining the strength to stand up from a chair independently. But here's the Problem: most seniors can still stand up from a chair, so they assume their legs are fine. They don't realize that they're only using 60 or 70% of their available strength to do it. And as that strength declines, they compensate without even noticing. They start leaning forward more. They start using their hands to push up. They start choosing higher chairs because lower ones are too difficult. These compensations let you keep functioning, but they hide the fact that you're getting weaker. And eventually, compensations aren't enough. That's why you need to train the sit to stand as an exercise, not just as a movement you do when you need to get up. When you train it deliberately, you're not just maintaining your current strength. You're building a buffer, a reserve of strength that protects you even as natural aging continues. Let me walk you through exactly how to do this exercise safely and effectively. First, find a sturdy chair, not a soft couch or a wobbly. Stool, a solid chair with a firm seat. The height matters. If you're just starting out, choose a chair where your knees are at about a 90-degree angle when you sit down. Your thighs should be roughly parallel to the floor. If that feels too hard, you can start with a higher chair and gradually work your way down to lower chairs as you get stronger. Sit down in the chair with your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Your feet should be slightly behind your knees, not stretched out in front of you. This position gives you better leverage. Now, here's the part that makes this an exercise instead of just a normal movement. You're going to stand up without using your hands. Cross your arms over your chest or let them hang by your sides, but don't push off your thighs or grab the chair. To stand up, lean forward slightly from your hips. This is important. You're not bending at your waist, you're hinging at your hips, which keeps your back straight and safe. As you lean forward, push through your heels and stand up in one smooth motion. Your weight should be evenly distributed between both legs. Once you're fully standing, don't just plop back down. This is where most people miss the opportunity to build extra strength. Lower yourself back down slowly and with control. Take 2 or 3 seconds to sit back down. This negative part of the movement, the lowering phase, is incredibly effective for building muscle. When you sit down, aim to just barely touch the chair and then stand back up again. Don't collapse into the seat and rest. Keep tension in your legs the whole time. That's what makes this exercise work. That's 1 repetition. Start with a goal of doing 10 repetitions in a row. If that's too hard right now, do as many as you can with good form. Maybe that's 5, maybe it's 3. That's perfectly fine. Your starting point is your starting point. What matters is that you're starting. Rest for a minute, then do another set of 10, or however many you can manage. Try to do 3 sets total. That's 3 sets of 10 with a minute of rest between sets. Do this exercise 3 times a week, not every day. Your muscles need time to recover and rebuild. 3 times a week is the sweet spot. Monday, Wednesday, Friday works well for most people, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Whatever fits your schedule. Now let me explain why this specific exercise works better than the alternatives most seniors try. Some people do leg lifts lying on the floor. That's fine for flexibility, but it doesn't challenge your muscles against gravity the way standing does. You're only lifting the weight of your leg, which is light. Your leg muscles need to learn to lift your entire body weight. Some people use resistance bands around their ankles. Again, that builds some strength, but it doesn't train the coordinated movement pattern you need for real-world activities. And resistance bands provide very light resistance compared to your own body weight. Some people do wall squats, where you lean your back against a wall and slide down into a sitting position. That's a decent exercise, but it's harder to adjust the difficulty. And it's not as functional as actually sitting and standing from a real chair. Some people try squats in the middle of the room with no chair at all. That's great if you're already strong, but for most seniors, it's too difficult and too risky. Without a chair to guide you, it's easy to lose your balance or use poor form, which can lead to injury. The sit-to-stand gives you the perfect combination. It's functional, it's challenging, it's adjustable, and it's safe. The chair is there to guide your movement and catch you if you need it. But you're not relying on it. You're using your own strength to stand and sit. And because you're lifting your full body weight every single repetition, you're creating enough resistance to actually stimulate muscle growth. Here are 5 ways to progress the exercise, starting from the easiest modifications and moving to more advanced versions. Level 1. Use your hands. If doing the exercise without your hands is too difficult right now, that's okay. Start by using your hands lightly. Place your fingertips on the chair's armrests or on your thighs. Use just enough assistance to stand up, but try to do most of the work with your legs. Each week, use your hands a little less. Eventually, you'll be able to cross your arms and do it without any hand assistance. Level 2. Lower the chair. Once you can do 3 sets of 10 repetitions without using your hands, try using a slightly lower chair. The lower the chair, the harder your muscles have to work to stand up. You can progress from a standard dining chair to a lower couch or even to a small step stool if you're strong enough. Just make sure whatever you're sitting on is stable and safe. Level 3. Slow down. The lowering phase. Instead of taking 2 or 3 seconds to sit back down, take 5 or 6 seconds. The slower you go, the harder your muscles work. This is called eccentric training, and it's incredibly effective for building strength. Try to lower yourself so slowly that it almost feels like you're floating down to the chair. Level 4. Add a pause. When you stand up, pause for 2 or 3 seconds while standing before you sit back down. This forces your muscles to hold the contraction longer, which builds endurance and strength. You can also pause halfway down when you're sitting back down. Hold yourself in a partial squat position for a moment, then continue lowering to the chair. Level 5. Hold weight. Once you're strong enough, you can hold a light weight against your chest while you do the exercise. This could be a small dumbbell, a water bottle, or even a bag of rice. Start with just a few pounds and gradually increase the weight as you get stronger. This adds resistance beyond your body weight, which gives your muscles an even greater stimulus to grow. The key is to progress gradually. Don't jump from level 1 to level 5 in a week. Take your time. Build your strength step by step. It's much better to do the exercise correctly at an easier level than to do it poorly at a harder level. Now, let's talk about safety, because that's absolutely critical. First, always do this exercise near something you can grab if you lose your balance. A sturdy table, a countertop, or a wall within arm's reach. You're not planning to use it, but it's there if you need it. That gives you confidence and prevents accidents. Second, if you have severe knee pain, hip pain, or recent surgery, talk to your doctor or physical therapist before starting. They might suggest specific modifications for your situation. In most cases, you'll still be able to do a version of this exercise. It might just need to be adapted for your body. Third, pay attention to your form. Keep your back straight. Don't round your spine. Don't let your knees cave inward. They should track over your toes. If you notice your form breaking down, that's a sign you're fatigued. Stop the set and rest. Quality matters more than quantity. Fourth, breathe. It sounds simple, but many people hold their breath when they're exerting effort. Breathe in as you sit down. Breathe out as you stand up. Steady, controlled breathing keeps your blood pressure stable and helps you maintain focus. Fifth, if you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or experience sharp pain, not just muscle fatigue, but sharp, sudden pain, stop immediately. Those are signs that something isn't right. Rest, and if the symptoms persist, consult a healthcare professional. For most seniors, this exercise is completely safe. It's used in physical therapy clinics every single day. But everyone's body is different, so listen to yours. Push yourself, but don't ignore warning signs. While the sit to stand is the single most effective exercise for rebuilding leg strength, I want to give you 2 additional movements that complement it perfectly. You don't have to do these, but they'll help you progress faster and build more complete strength. The first exercise is heel raises. Stand behind a sturdy chair and hold onto the back lightly for balance. Rise up onto your toes, lifting your heels as high as you can. Hold for 1 second, then lower back down slowly. This strengthens your calf muscles, which are important for balance and walking. Do 3 sets of 15, 3 times a week. The second exercise is step-ups. Find a low, sturdy step, like a stair in your home or a wooden step stool. Step up onto the step with 1 foot, then bring your other foot up to meet it. Step back down, leading with the same foot. Do 10 step-ups on one leg, then switch and do 10 on the other leg. This builds single leg strength, which is crucial for climbing stairs and recovering your balance. Do 3 sets on each leg 3 times a week. These 2 exercises take less than 5 minutes combined. Add them to your sit-to-stand routine and you have a complete leg strengthening program that takes 15 to 20 minutes total, 3 times a week. That's it. No expensive equipment, no gym membership, no complicated routines, just 3 simple exercises that rebuild the strength you need to stay independent. Before we wrap up, I want to make sure I'm clear about something. I've spent most of this video explaining why walking alone isn't enough to protect your leg strength. And that's true. But that doesn't mean walking is worthless. Walking is still wonderful for your heart, your mood, your joints, and your overall health. Keep walking if you enjoy it. But don't rely on it alone to keep your legs strong. And here's something encouraging. The stronger your legs are, the more you'll enjoy all other daily activities. Even walking will feel easier. I know some of you watching this might be thinking, I'm already too weak. I've already lost too much. It's too late for me. It's not too late. I've seen people in their 90s rebuild significant strength. I've seen people who couldn't stand up without using their hands progress to doing sit-to-stands with no assistance. Your body is still capable of adapting and getting stronger no matter how old you are. It might take a little longer than it would have at 60, but it's still possible. And the alternative, doing nothing, only leads to more weakness, more fear, and less independence. You don't have to become an athlete. You don't have to be the strongest person in your neighborhood. You just have to be stronger than you are today. And then, next month, a little stronger than that. Small improvements, repeated consistently, add up to life-changing results. One more thing. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel like exercising, and some days you won't. Do it anyway. Make it a non-negotiable part of your week, like brushing your teeth or taking your medications. You don't skip those because you don't feel like it. Don't skip this either. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel for more content on helping seniors stay strong, healthy, and independent. Also, leave a comment and tell me which tip or habit you're going to try first. Are you going to start doing sit-to-stands 3 times a week? Are you going to add heel raises or step-ups? Let me know. I read every comment and I am always ready to respond. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next video.